Obviously this video is not just for the girlies, the honeys, as a friend, as a man's, you know what I'm saying, as a boyfriend, as an husband, you can always come through and help your girl, your sister, and everything like that. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If it is your first time, hi, my name is Naledi. Nice to meet you. I hope that you enjoy your stay so much that you like and subscribe and comment down below, and maybe even like share with your friends. I don't really know, up to you, okay? But yeah, man, if you're a returning subscriber, okay, so you guys can obviously tell what we're going to be talking about. So this is the first ever episode for the new segment called Girl Talk. Girl Talk. So let's get straight into it. Let me open up my notes though. Okay, so I initially wanted to add like a little story in the mix, but then I realized I'm really bad at telling stories, so we'll just let it go. So my period, I got it when I was in grade 6, so I was 12 years old. And yeah, so grade 6 to grade 7, smooth sailing. I did not know what period pains were. That was a myth to me up until I got to grade 8. And I think you know why? I think I got period pains because I was being forward. So this other time where the school that we went to school with, this is in primary, and so she didn't come to school because of period pains. Do you know what that lady said? Ignorance. Ignorant. You know what I said? I said,
how could she be missing school? They can't be that bad.
you know what that sounds like? A man. Ugh, that was not one of my proudest moments. That is very disgusting. But it was like still the first. Actually, no, there's no excuses for that. But yeah, I think that's when God was like, oh, word. Maybe not God, but my body was like, oh, word. Oh, so you, oh, and then got straight in flames. So I actually really started getting period pains when I was in grade 8 and up until this day. So yeah, I would like to rate my period pains out of 10. I have experienced a 10, but I think on average, I maybe my period pains are between 7 and 8. I think that's like average. So yeah, so I'm gonna let you guys know what I use now and what I used up until before I started using what I'm using now, just in case maybe some of the stuff you maybe might try and maybe that will work for you, because your period pains may not be as severe as mine or somebody else's. So yeah, so in grade 8, let me not say grades because honestly I can't remember, but there was a time where I was still in the beginning phases of me having to bleed for a living for free. And yeah, so there was a point in time where I actually missed school, and that was because I couldn't walk. Like I was bedridden for that whole day. I was so shook. I'm like,
How is it happening to me? I don't know.
you know what I mean? So I was very confused that day. I was in pain, but I was very confused. More confused than anything because I'm like, why can I not walk? Make it make sense. So yeah, anyway, but I think one of the worst days was when I was in matric and I was writing an accounting exam, and it was the second term tests, the test exams. I remember this day clearly because we were writing with the grade 11s, they were writing geo, I think they were writing map work. But yeah, so I already had period pains the previous night. Um, Anyone that did accounting in high school or does accounting, you know that you need to learn the formats. I don't know why, but it's fine because accounting can learn marks, so it's okay. So yeah, I was just like, ugh. I think I had studied enough, but I always would leave the formats for last, right? So yeah, I was like trying to push these formats into my brain, but my uterus was saying,
Nah, bruh. Nah, we finna turn up.
you know, that was what my uterus was saying. And so I remember I was like, you know what, about this, I'm not doing this. I closed all my accounting books and I put them away, switched off the lights, and went to sleep. I don't know how I went to sleep with those period pains, but eventually my uterus let me breathe, and then I slept. And okay, by the way, this is me attempting to tell the story. Don't come at me if it's whack. My bad. So anyway, then my period pains woke me up at 3 a.m. I think I only probably fell asleep maybe at around like half 10, 11. And then I got woken up at 3 a.m. I was upset. I was mad. I was upset. Sharp, fear, whatever. Then obviously, like, I'm in pain, I'm crying, I'm just stressed because I'm like, it's really bad enough that I'm not even sure if I really know these formats properly. But now I must write an exam with how much sleep is that? Like, let's say I fell asleep at 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. Nah, come on, come on. I need a good 8 hours minimum. That's me to be functional, sharp, whatever. So, you know, mom comes through, she helps, hot water bottles galore, everything. Nothing is working. I think I only felt better at around 6 a.m. So 3 hours straight of pain. 3 hours. I'm writing an exam this morning. 3 hours straight of pain. I hardly slept. Do I even know what I'm gonna write in the exam? So anyway, what happened? Oh, I started feeling better at 6, and then obviously that's the time that I have to wake up and get to school. So I'm showering there in the shower. I'm just like, oh gosh, is it really happening to me? Like, do I really deserve this? Or what did I do? Who is lying me? Because I'm sorry, right? So yeah, shop video. I get to school. People are like,
Molly, are you okay?
I'm like,
You know, I'm as okay as I can be.
and yeah, I remember writing that exam. I don't actually remember what I wrote, but clearly I wrote the things because I passed. Not so bad, you know what I mean? I obviously could have done better had I not been suffering. But yeah, shout out to my accounting teacher, though, Mrs. Big Up. What a bozza. Wow. Chef's kiss. So yeah, I got to the venue and yeah, they were going through the papers, and then, you know, when they said we must start, I literally just wrote down all the formats. That's what I normally do anyway with the accounting exams. I wrote down the formats, and I kid you not, let's pretend this is the table. The lady wrote the exam like this. Let me balance it. Like this. I wrote the exam like this. I wrote like this. That was me, the whole exam. And I think 3 hour paper, I think I wrote it for maybe an hour, hour and a half maximum. And then I slept. You see that last number, I was even doing the calculations like this, like my head on it like this. I was so tired, guys. I was so tired. I was so tired. And then that last number I wrote, when I tell you, I've closed my pen, closed my space case, closed the paper, everything, put it horizontally, and I slept. I think I woke up maybe 45 or 30 minutes before the end of the exam. And then I went through the paper, and something in me was like, just check, maybe you did a wrong calculation. As I'm going through this paper, I'm not gonna change anything because I don't even know. You know, what I wrote is what I wrote, and that's it. So yeah, that was one of the worst days of my life. I've had worse. But yeah, that was my high school period pains. And then, I started using Nurofen because I heard word on the streets. There was like,
Yo, dude, using your pen, it really helps.
that's how my mom cashed up. So at first it was the silver ones because this was before they had, I don't know if they had made the period pains ones by this time, but nobody was using them. So I'm gonna just say that maybe they were still in the works, maybe they were not available in South Africa as such. So anyway, so I get Nurofen, and so the maximum with the silver ones is 6 pills a day. So in the beginning I just take 3, right? Just one every 6 hours, because that's the time frame, right, that it says. So I take one every 6 hours because it says you can take 2 at a time or 1, but don't exceed 6 in a day, right? So yeah, in the beginning, 3 in a day, and then yeah, no, I started having to take 2 a day, and that's how I started to be okay. And then my mom was like, cut that. She wasn't really a fan of me being on me relying basically on Nurofen, especially like because Nurofen has like quite a high concentration of ibuprofen, which is a pretty strong anti-inflammatory component drug, you know what I mean? So she wasn't really a fan of it, and I get it, but I mean, nothing else was working. Like when I tell you that I've tried everything, mate, I've tried everything. There was a point where I can't remember what those things were called, but we used to boil them, and I would have to like drink the water that was boiled. Did you get what I'm saying? That didn't work. And then there was a time where we did a turmeric and hot water mixture. That didn't work. Turmeric and cinnamon hot water mixture. That didn't work. Like, because turmeric and cinnamon are very good anti-inflammatory spices. So you know what I mean? To ease the pain and blah blah blah. That didn't work. And then we also tried, I'll try to find the picture of this thing, but it's those, like, I'm sure if you're a black or colored person, or maybe Indian as well, you've seen this medicine. It's that one that's yellow and red, and I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I'll try to find a picture. But those medicines that taste like crap, we used to have them when we were kids. This thing tastes like nonsense. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. If not, I'll try to get a picture. If not, my bad. But yeah, I tried that. That didn't work, guys. Niente, nada, nothing, nix, nothing worked, guys. Like nothing worked. So yeah, that was basically up until they started making the pink Nurofen. Because I was honestly like, Mom, I get what you're saying, you know what I mean, but nothing is working, and I can't afford to fail and things like that just because of my period pains. Like, I gotta push, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and then she finally gave in, but she was still trying to find like other alternatives. And then this was when they started making, I don't know, the pink Nurofen, the one that's specifically for period pains. So that one obviously is probably worse than the silver one because it has a higher concentration of ibuprofen, which is why you're supposed to take 3 in a day, right? Obviously, like, I overdosed once in a while, nothing bad happened to me, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't suggest it though, but I'm just saying, like, that's how tense it became, you know? And so yeah, and when I got to varsity, because I was dependent on Nurofen, that sounds really bad, but I was using Nurofen a lot, so I didn't really have that many episodes. I did have, don't get it twisted, I did, but it wasn't as bad as high school. So the reason why I stopped taking Nurofen, oh well, obviously as well, like when I was in high school, I also used hot water bottles. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to show you where I get my period pains. So let me show you. So I get period pains here, the usual place, and then I get my lower back, and then I also get pains in like my knee and my knees and my foot. So that's always great. So yeah, that's where I be suffering. So yeah, when I was in varsity, I didn't really like try and see if there are other alternatives that I could use and stuff. Also, I used to take these other like vitamins, like vital vitamins. You're supposed to take those before you start your period. I used to take, where are my drops? I used to do them most days. Oh, they're not in here. Crabs and cakes. Anyway, I used to, if I find them, I'll take a picture and insert them in the video. But I used to take these other drops. They taste like crap. 10 drops on the tongue. Like, oh guys, when I tell you that everything. So then came honors. And yeah, I think also what really changed my mind with Nurofen was when I was sitting in one of I think it was byeee, which is enzymology in biochemistry. And so Dr. Boucher was busy telling us about like strong anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen and stuff, and like if you've been using it for a long time, i.e. me, because I can say for 3 years straight I was using Nurofen, and maybe majority of grade 11 and matric. So that's like 5 years straight. And I'm sitting in this lecture, this is my 5th year on this, and you know, she was just going in talking about like, you know, how messed up it actually is, and how harmful it actually is to your body, and especially if like things were to go south, you get into this spitales, and now, you know, the doctors can only like administer aspirin. Now if you're someone that has been on like Acadol, like very strong anti-inflammatory drugs like that to help ease period pains, that aspirin isn't going to do anything for you, and you could die. Obviously that's like an extreme case, because there's things like morphine and stuff like that that can help ease your pain. But you know what I'm saying? That lecture went something like that, and that's when I realized, I'm like, maybe I should try to find a better alternative that's gonna help me. Not like, I don't want to be in a situation like that. Like the doctors can help me, but they can't help me because my body used to ibuprofen, and so when they try, so yeah, that's when I started thinking that, you know what, next year I need to like start looking at like better options that are gonna help me, so I can stop being not being dependent on Nurofen, right? Because really, like, how am I supposed to work? How am I supposed to do anything with my uterus busy trying to murder me? You know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, then I got to honors, and then I was like, you know what, I personally don't think that there's anything that is going to help ease my pain, so I'm gonna go on a contraceptive. So I have a whole video of like the contraceptive that I use and stuff like that. I have it coming, so I'm gonna record it anyway. So yeah, man, I was like, no, okay, I'm gonna try to get on a contraceptive, because also like it felt like the Nurofens weren't really doing anything like that much anymore. I was still having period pains. And one thing about honors, first of all, if we're going to do honors, I really think that you should get a therapist at the same time, because guys, it's really not great for your mental health, let me tell you. How I made it out alive last year, honestly, it's all God, because I can't, like, do not do honors without having a therapist, because that place is not a joke. That post-grad degree is not a joke. Don't do it. Just don't. Please, please. I'm warning you. Free advice. I know therapists are expensive, but have something. Just take care of yourself, okay? Don't kill yourself over a degree. That's just something that just don't do that. Don't. Okay. Anyway, so there was no time for me to be having period pains. So you know what I'm saying. I was my only options there was the oral contraceptive or injection. But really, if we're being honest, my only option was the oral contraceptive, because I know a few people that are still on it, that have been on it, and their experience didn't sound really great. I didn't want that. Do you know what I mean? Swollen feet, back pains. I don't need that. Do you know what I mean? So then I just chose to use an oral contraceptive, and it did really like ease my period pain. I use tampons now, which I also feel like helped ease my period pains. So I don't know if that's like a thing, but for me, the reason why it makes sense that they have eased my period pains is that when you're wearing a pad, right, you're relying on gravity and your uterus to like take out the blood, right? But whereas when you have a tampon, it uses the tampon, and I was about to use some other terminologies and I realized I was gonna lie, but how I think how it works is that the tampon, you know, absorbs the blood, and you know, so it's less work for your uterus to be having to contract, whereas the tampon just takes everything, you know what I mean? So not takes everything, but you know, absorbs everything. There we go. So yeah, that kind of helped. But now I'm not using anything. So if I can tell you what is helping me right now, besides tampons, I would definitely say this tea. So the great thing about this tea though, I feel, is that you can use it twice. So you can have it in the morning and in the afternoon as well, or you can have it twice in the morning, because the tea bag you can use twice, right? You can get it at any like Chinese shop, Asian shop, but yeah, I would suggest this tea. It has rosa, angelica root. Okay, you know, I'll put the ingredients on the screen. I'm not gonna say that. So that's great. What? So how I have the tea is sometimes I'll have it alone. Sometimes I'll mix it with my green tea, but most of the time I'll mix it with ginger root. So ginger root water. So what I do is I roughly peel the ginger root, and then I chop it, and then I boil it in water. I don't know for how long, but like I boil it on like a really low heat, like, and then maybe like until it starts like bubbling, and then I'll add it to this tea, or I'll add it to to my green tea. So I would normally drink the tea maybe like 3 times a day, like in the morning, in the afternoon, and then at night, and maybe if I have period pains before I go to sleep. So that's mine. So I think every honey should have 2 hot water bottles. So this is the normal one where you're gonna boil the water and put it in, lovely, for the front. And then this is my electric one that I put on my back. So that's my life, right? And yeah, what else do I use? Oh, one thing that has helped a lot is massaging my legs, right? So let me show you. It's a lot of demonstrations. So you just massage it like this to just help with the blood flowing. So yeah, that helps me. I don't know if that's gonna help you, but yeah, because some people also say exercising, but like if you compare like my high school career, I did hockey every year, and some years I would also do touch rugby. So that didn't help, but I mean, I exercise every morning now, so maybe that does kind of help. But maybe if you can do like Kegel exercises, I think with exercising, you need to do it maybe like a few days before your period comes. Yeah, because that's what I've realized in terms of like preventing period pains. You have to do a lot of things before your actual period starts. So yeah, I think those are my tips on how to ease your period pains. And if you guys have anything else to add on, any questions, you can always say something in the comment section. You can always DM me on IG and Twitter. And yeah, I think that's all from me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to watch. Just watch. You can go watch a playlist, or you can watch this video. Looks like you got options. That's what it looks like.